Hey guys, welcome to RafiChowdhury.com and Influencer Spotlight. And in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about getting press coverage for an event. So if you're having a live event, like physically, you're inviting people. There's going to be tons of, maybe it's like a conference, maybe it's some sort of an event. It's some sort of a public speaking event, or it could be like a gathering of some type, and you want to draw media attention to those kind of events, obviously, because you want to let people, the community, and your target market know that you're having this, and either before the event or after the event or during the event. So what are some ways that you can set yourself up to make sure that you get the media coverage that you deserve, and that your local media picks you up, your national media, and if it's targeted to a specific market, that you get targeted market coverage from the media for that type of market. So let's get started. How to get press coverage for an event. I'm going to teach you guys how to get the buzz, capture media attention with these 10 super easy steps. Super easy, yet often forgotten. The first thing you need to do before anything else, if you want any sort of media attention, is you need to create a press release. And I'm going to go in detail a little bit later about what is a press release. The second thing you need to do is frame and spread your message. So think about some sort of a unique way that you need to position yourself and your message, and you need to get the word out right away. Next, we're going to talk about writing a detailed press release. So not only do you have to write a press release, but you have to make sure that you cover certain things within your press release, the things that you actually want the media to pick up, the things that you actually want to be highlighted for, what makes you unique, what makes your event unique and relevant to that audience and to the media. And when you're creating your press release, you need to remember the 5 W's, which is who, what, when, why, and where. So who is this really related to? What is it? When is it? Why are you doing it? And where is this happening? You need to obviously start contacting journalists and reporters. That's the most obvious one. And you need to promote your event through a publicity plan. So whether it be paid or some sort of a free approach towards it, if you're out there and you are having a public event and you put the press release together, you've got everything in place, and you don't have some sort of a plan on how you're going to actually promote the press release, how you're going to get the word out, how you're going to push it to the media and journalists, then it's not going to plan out so well, depending on, regardless of how well you write the press release, how much planning and preparation you do. If you don't have a plan of syndicating this content and pushing it out there, then it's not going to be so easy. So you need to prepare your event organizers and key speakers. So if you are having a conference or a public speaking type of event, you need to make sure that your organizers and your key speakers are all together and organized and ready to go. You need to appoint a media liaison, someone who's going to basically be communicating between you, the company or the event, and then the media itself. So there has to be some sort of a publicist or a media person involved. And this person could also be from the media side of it as well. So the contact could be someone from the media that you're kind of working with and making sure that they get all the information that they need from you guys in order to cover the event. And you need to obviously create your own media and to promote your event. So don't just rely on media coverage and news stations and things like that. You need to have your own videographer, your own photographer on site, creating and broadcasting everything that's going on. And number 10, share news, articles, tweets, posts to keep your story alive during the event, before the event, and after the event. So making sure that your audience is doing everything, doing everything you can to make sure that your audience is engaging and sharing and tweeting and posting about that event and generating more attention to it. So why is press and media coverage important? Like, why do you need to do all this? Your brand, business, and company already has many competitors. How do you get the instant attention of your customers? How do you get their attention? There's tons of other people that are having events. What's the best way to promote your reach? It's through media. And the reason for that is because it's going to give you tons of positive attention, review, feedback, and even more on top of that. You're going to get wide circulation within the community. So if you're going out there and you're taking the time, you're putting in the money, you're putting in the efforts to host something, why not let everybody else know? Why not use that event, as a way to get attention to your brand, to your message, to your mission, to your company, and to try to kill two birds with one stone. But getting the media's attention is not that easy. These big publications will ignore you if your event is not able to catch their interest. There are tons of people out there that are having events every day, tons of interesting things going on, but the media can't go out there and cover everything, nor do they have interest in. So they're only interested in certain types of events. They're only interested in things that are actually newsworthy, that are actually noteworthy. Acquiring the right media attention is your best tactic to promote your brand image. The quick and easy way is through creating an event that can get you all the undivided attention. So having physical events is a huge way to make sure that you let the media know that, hey, you're taking it seriously, your business is serious, and you're so serious that you're willing to put on a real live event that's going to be attracting tons of visitors, that there's going to be value that's going to be provided at this event, and this is something newsworthy. Creating as much hype as you can. The more it'll be noticed, the more publications, journalists, and reporters will want to cover it. And so I put together this video to give you more insights on how to get successful media attention. These steps have been tried, they've been tested, and they've been approved by many big marketers. You can use them to your scoop of media attention now. And these are things that I've personally done for my brand. These are things that tons of marketers have done, my clients have done, and these are things that are basically almost like you have to do some of these things in order to get the media coverage that you're looking for. So let's move forward and find out what they are. So your key message is something that you'll want others to read, like your service, your product, or some other big venture. This will not only let big investors know that they can invest with you, but it will also allow a general public, in other words, your consumers, to know that your brand has launched something new. Thus, create your story for the press. For example, daily newspapers and TV and radio stations. There's weekly and monthly newspapers or magazines. There's news-related websites. There are event calendars like Eventbrite that you can put yourself into. There are blogs. There are local blogs as well as national blogs that can publicize your event. All of these things can be used to make sure that your press release gets the biggest distribution that you possibly can get for it. So here's a snapshot of a press release that was done. And as you can see, there's tons of pictures that are involved here. There's again, this happened, a lot of this was done before the event actually took place. So these are just some snapshots and things like that the brand actually submitted for last year when they did this same event to the press. So think about what you want to tell the world. What news should you disclose about your success, product, or your service? Just imagine that you're a reporter who's giving the world a first-hand scoop about this news. Make a list of all the things that you want to highlight, and then write a short story and highlight the key points. Your message is now well written. You can also use this in your blog to promote whatever you're about to launch. So make sure that your message is presented in a way that covers all the main important things, that talks about what's newsworthy, that actually has something of interest to a journalist, to the audience. You got to make sure that your message is crafted in a way that makes it engaging, that makes it unique, that has all of your key points that you're wanting to cover, and that lets everybody know exactly what's going on. And be very, very specific and clear about it. Don't be vague about it. So here's an example of a press release. The Legend of GAAM attracts hundreds of gamers and celebrate Zelda and other famous characters with cosplay, art, and music. Look at that title. It's a very, very specific title, very engaging title, good, awesome picture, and it immediately lets that population of gamers know that, hey, this is a cool event that's going on. It's going to have this, 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 and this. Here's the theme for it. So in order to get instant media attention, write 2 press releases. One should be released before the start of your event, and the second one should be released after the event. Make sure that you highlight your event objectives in the form of quotes from presenters, performers, event organizers, and participating organizations. Make it easy for your media to publish your story without any delay. And when it comes to press releases, I highly encourage that you work with a professional press release writer. You can go to different Facebook groups. You can reach out to different organizations. There are different writers who specialize in press release writing and formatting and making sure that your story is written up in the proper way. If you're not an expert at writing press releases, it is best that you hire someone. And if you don't know where to find them, you can go on freelancing sites such as Fiverr, such as Upwork, TrueLancer. There's different sites like that, and you can just type in press release or press release writing and things like that, and you will see that there are plenty of professional, high-quality press release writers who will write up your story in a way that absolutely will follow all the guidelines that most of these publications are looking for. So you need to write the 5 W's: who, what, when, where. Who, what, when, why, and where. So the next thing you need to do is write the who, what, when, and where for your event. So the copy you send to journalists or reporters will give them the detail clearly, all of the details in a very clear format. If you don't have those 5 questions answered, you need to go back and make sure that your press release actually answers all of those questions. It should be very easy for a journalist to look and understand what the list of participating organizations are, who are the speakers, what time is it happening, where is it happening, who is the media contact that they need to get in touch with in order to find out more information about your event. Say something extremely exclusive about what you're doing, like being the first one or the largest one in your region, or something really cool like that, to let your basically to highlight that your brand is doing something unique, creative, and this is the first time something like this has been done, and that this is newsworthy. If you don't actually tell the media that, like, exactly why they need to cover your story, you're leaving it up to them to decide, and that's just not a good idea because they don't know anything about you besides what you're sending in the press release. So highlight those things in your release. So let's talk a little bit about contacting journalists and reporters. As soon as you submit your press release or media outlet through email, contact reporters and journalists through the phone the exact same day. And I highlight this in almost every one of my videos. If you really want to make things happen, if you really want to build that personal relationship, if you really want to move things forward and move the needle, you're going to have to pick up the phone. There are so many marketers, so many companies today that are operating on the internet, and they completely forget that the phone still exists, and it's a great tool to move the needle. So don't just email them, don't just tweet at them, don't just send the press release and wait for them to get back to you. Figure out what's their phone number, what's their office number, how to get in touch with them, and call them and leave a voicemail if no one answers. Follow up the next day with another phone call. Following up is so important, whether it be sales or trying to get journalists to pay attention to you. You need to follow up with them via a phone call. Send them an email follow-up as well. And make sure that you send them a calendar invite to the day of the event. This is huge. Again, one that gets missed. When you do email out to them, send them a calendar invite so they can just immediately put it on their calendar. What you're trying to do is make sure that you let them know exactly what's happening, when is it happening. You're making things easy for them, and you're giving them constant reminders to let them know, hey, this is a big event. You got to pay attention. Hey, I'm letting you know again, I'm doing this. Did you get my email? Did you get my voicemail? So do these follow-ups. These guys are super, super busy. So send them the event related info and pictures so they can use it and publish through your publish your event. But yes, my tip is to be super detailed so they'll get interested in publishing your event story. And if you don't get detailed up front with it, again, don't expect them to come to you and get all the answers they need. You have to do that work to make things easy for them. So you're the one that's basically the seller here. They're actually the buyer. So just keep that in mind. Promote your event through a publicity plan. So let's talk a little bit about what is a publicity plan. What does it kind of look like? So the first thing you need to do obviously is set your objectives. Talk about like why you're doing all of this, like what is your general game plan? What are some key performance indicators? Like how will you measure success? How will you make sure that you're actually getting out of this publicity what you need for it? So you got to kind of outline what you're going to do. Then you're going to try to outline the types of publicity. Are you going to promote just through online press release distribution sites? Are you going to contact the radio stations? Are you going to have actual, do you want actual media journalists to be present at your event and recording things and interviewing people? Are you going to have a news segment? Do you want to reach out to the local news stations? So you're going to have to figure these things out. Like, how do you plan on actually getting publicity? Like, what kind of forms of publicity would you expect? So you need to obviously select a media. So like we just talked about, radio, TV, there's online sites, there's news stations, there's magazines, newspapers, etc. You need to create your publicity messages, obviously the emails, the phone calls, the actual press release itself. And then you need to also think about the timing of your publicity messages. When will you announce all of this? When will it go to the publicist? When will it go to the media? When will you start contacting? When will they need to be present? The timeline makes a huge difference. I need to plan all of this out before you even think about doing a huge publicity push like this. Think of a strategy to develop a plan to get the desired media attention for your event. Make a list of all the media outlets in your area or target specific publications used by the population you're trying to attract to your event. Then create a timeline for your outreach and pay attention to detail. Create publicity messages and deliver before and after the event. The more you spread, the more media will be attracted. It's just simple as that. So now let's talk a little bit about preparing your event organizers and your key speakers. And this is crucial because if these people aren't there, it could be absolutely disastrous. So this is an image of a guy doing a TEDx talk, which is obviously a very, very popular public speaking event. So what you need to do is make a list of points that about your objectives, the collaborative economy, details of your research, products or services, your event, and anything else you would like the mass media to know. So talk about all these little details. Who's coming? What are their credentials? Why is this person noteworthy? What are some products and services that will be talked about? All these things you need to let the media know as well. Create short sound bites that are on point. And add some introductory basics. Train the event organizers or key presenters that will be interviewed by the media and will also be conveying your talking points before your event. They should be able to talk to the media before and during and after the event. So make sure your organizers, your speakers, everybody knows, hey, we're reaching out to the media. Be expecting to answer certain questions from them. Make sure you know your stuff. Make sure you're prepared and make sure that you're on time to answer those questions. Make sure you're checking your emails, checking your voicemails, phone, etc., because they're going to be the people that the media are really going to be interested in talking to. So you need to appoint a media liaison. Appoint a media liaison to make sure that your event is fully disclosed to the reporters. This is going to be basically the person that's going to do all the communication between your company, your event, your brand, and the reporter himself or herself, or a group of reporters, whatever the situation might be. Because they're not going to like it if different people are reaching out to them. They want to have one point of communication, one person to talk to about everything. They will also be responsible for following up with the journalists about if and when a story is to be circulated. Your media liaison should have lots of press releases on hand and be ready with talking facts in case your spokespeople are engaged or the reporter is short on time. This is why you need to have a dedicated person just for the communication part. So We talked a little bit about not relying on just the media, but actually having your own PR and your own press ready to go as well. Media will print what they think or like about your event, but if you and your own team is circulating your own media, chances are that you'll cover more ground because you know more about your event and you're more invested in your own event than media will ever be. So create blogs, create articles, tweets, unique hashtags, Instagram pages, Facebook event, and anything else that can help in promoting your own event. This is bound to get you more media coverage and get the public attention. You can use niche related or event related keywords to maintain the search engine optimization of your event or on search engines as well. So make sure that you're optimizing each and everything that you publish. Your blog posts are optimized for um, getting covered, making sure that you're ranking properly for the correct keywords and that you do this on a timely basis. Make sure you have social bookmarking, social proof by getting it out to all these different things. Make sure that your audience themselves are also engaged by getting them and incentivizing them to tweet and hashtag and things like that to let as many people know this is happening as you possibly can and not relying just on the media, the press itself. You'll want to share news, share articles and tweets and posts to keep your story alive. In order to keep your event alive, circulate your press release and amplify your reach. You can use articles or video footage to send to other media channels. Share it on, excuse me, there's a typo here. Share it on social media or write letters to the editor, to editorial teams by your presenters. You can share your story on blogs, follow-up stories, and more. Once a media outlet covers your story, other media outlets like TV and radio are more likely to approach you on top of what you already have. So just you getting some press out there on your own, making sure that you get, as much video content, as much photos, pictures, all these things out there on the web, it's going to attract media more because they already see, wow, these guys are already doing a ton of promotion. I know it's going to be a big event. They know it's going to be a big event, so they're much more likely to respond to you once you reach out to them if they already see that you're doing your own job of promoting this and there's tons of public attention. And I'll tell you guys a personal story here. I was on, one of my companies ended up being on my local TV on ABC Local. And that just happened from me creating an event at an organization that I know already gets a lot of press. I basically tagged them and made a Facebook event page and shared a whole bunch of posts and told all of my friends and all of the people that are attending to talk about it, to write about it. And boom, next thing I know, I got a call from the local news saying, hey, we saw that you're doing this event. Would love to come cover it. Would you be interested in, us coming and covering this event? I didn't even reach out to them. They reached out to me simply because I did a really good job of promoting it by myself. All right, that's the end of the presentation. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you that video that I was talking about. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to actually hear this video, but All right, guys, that's all I have for you on this video. Thank you guys, and catch you on the next video.